many black politicians here running on poverty planks. They're going to get you welfare. They're going to get you increased Medicare. And they're going to get you increased housing. All of these vagary programs. How many of them talk about really conduiting the millions and billions of dollars that are in the new government into your hand so you don't have to talk about welfare and talk about these other things? Government is about the distribution of wealth and the allocation of wealth and resources. When you're in the government, then you are in a position to change the direction of wealth. Look at the New York City school system for a moment. It spends over $6 billion. That can make a lot of millionaires. That feeds a lot of people. It feeds thousands of teachers and thousands of and hundreds of custodians and hundreds of support personnel. It feeds construction companies. It feeds food companies. It feeds chalk companies, pencil companies. All of these people are fed out of the control of that $6 billion budget. That's why the Jews and other people are going to hang on to that board even though their children are not in these schools. And we must understand that if you not only want to get control of the Board of Education merely because it is about the education of your children, but because it represents a tremendous sum of money, which if conduited into the black community, we wouldn't have to have poverty pimps running for office the way we do today. And that's what government is about. Even more important than the mayor's role is the controller's role, who is concerned with the investment of city wealth. Harrison Golden in New York City sits on some $30 billion of wealth. He can make a bank rich overnight by merely depositing that money or parts of those monies right into a bank like Freedom National or some other bank. The funds you pay for your retirement are not just stacked up in some vault somewhere. Those funds are used and invested by banks. They're invested by your union so that they may grow in interest so that you will be paid in your retirement. They're invested in housing. They're invested in factories. They're invested in all types of vehicles. So then if you got a controller who's investing retirement funds and other things, if those investments were made in the black community, you would see a vastly different community than what you see today. So you want to run those people for office not because it makes you proud that they are some role model and because you're going to get your nuts off as a result of some guy making one of those salaries.
That's right.
And this is what we do as people. You're getting them in office so they will redistribute that wealth. Why do you think people spend $2 or $3 million or $4 or $5 million to get a man to get in a job that's maybe pay him $40,000 or $50,000, ladies and gentlemen? The business of America is what? Business. That's what it's all about. We must understand the relationship between policy and economics. The government has tremendous impact upon the economics of a nation. Taxing along, tax incentives, when to tax, how to give tax relief and so forth. Regulations in terms of price settings, regulations in terms of rules of how an industry is run, regulations in terms of affirmative actions, regulations in terms of minimum wages, regulations in terms of subsidies of things like farm crops and other kinds of things. Distribution of money for research and development, selling of government land and institutions and so forth, which they literally give away government control over natural resources and things of this nature. All of these policies are economic policies. And if you're not into those policies and understand those policies, then you're not into economic development and growth. When the nationalist community then discourages people from becoming interested in a deep sort of way in American government political activity, and when we discourage people from becoming engaged in political activity in America, we are being counterproductive, not productive, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot protect our people by developing a deliberate ignorance of what is going on in the world around us. We must become aware of what is happening. We must recognize that in moving out of our economic situation, as I said earlier, that economics is a set of social relations more than anything else. Not just money. We have money as black people. It's not the absence of money. If we didn't have money, other people wouldn't be jumping into your community trying to take it out. You can't get something from nothing. There must be money in the black community because you see people jumping over each other to get it. Millions millions and billions of dollars flow through our communities. Teachers that don't live in your community, what? The money's coming in and they're just taking you out. Policemen who don't live in the community. Garbage men, sanitation men. Think of all the city workers and other people who don't live in the community. And yet those are millions of dollars for service to the community that does not stay there and goes in another direction.